I'm really confused with why so many people have been saying that current computers can't play games at 8K, or like they usually. What's mostly confusing for me is that they usually are saying that they can't play almost any games at 8K. Like they're even saying that to get games to play at 8K, you probably have to play like Super Nintendo games or something. And that's always confused the hell out of me. Mostly because I know for a fact that a lot of games can be played at 8K. Like, I can even show you some proof. Like, there's been videos on YouTube, like, of, for instance, Super Mario Odyssey, like, on an emulator of all things, which should also create, like, a detriment to the graphics, all of a sudden playing at 8K 60. Like, that's kind of a really modern looking game. I mean, it's not high end, like, it's probably PlayStation 3 type graphics, but that's the thing. Like, even PlayStation 3 type games, even another example is GTA 5, for instance, they could play at 8K around somewhat decent 30 frames per second. It's supposedly even more than that, but I think your mileage will vary with that game. But all this is being done, say, on a 1080 Ti. I think all the new systems, even though they're gonna be around 1080 Ti, maybe even slightly less powerful than 1080 Ti, but it's on newer architecture and it's on newer technology, so things will vary with this. And then I think developers will be able to see with different APIs and everything, they'll be able to see being able to take advantage of the system even better, and they'll be able to create games at 8K 60 that looks somewhat comparable to what you're seeing with Mario Odyssey and stuff. Like, I'm not saying like it'll be like super impressive graphics like you'll see on, say, the what you'll see on a PlayStation 5 or even on a modern computer come 2020 at 8K 60 with ray tracing and everything on, but still it'll be something very impressive. Like, it'll still be like great looking games at 8K 60 or even 8K 30. 8K 30 is what I think is what will be more possible. But I keep saying people, like, I keep hearing people say, like, even like you'll probably only be able to play some sports games, or you'll be able to play some random like low graphics type games at 8K, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think the marketing necessarily that both Microsoft and Sony are, when they say 8K, they're really referencing gaming as a whole. But I do not want to go out and completely say it's not possible. Like, 8K gaming's not what they're saying. They can probably do it if they want to. I just don't think there's a market for 8K gaming, because I don't think many people own 8K TVs or even 8K monitors to take advantage of it. But I wouldn't be surprised if some developers decide to make games at 8K, just so, like, a marketing spin of some sort. Like, this is like the first game in 8K or something. So I think it's very possible. I'm not talking about dynamic like gameplay, like resolution here. I'm talking mostly like actual games playing at 8K. Like, I can show you. Like, you can even see the videos here, and I'll link them also at the bottom so that you can click on them and see them. Like, I would like to see more comments. Probably people will say, like, this is not what's going on here. There's probably multiple graphics cards or something. But the thing is, like, it's possible. I don't know why people keep saying it's not possible. And I would really like to know. Like, maybe I'm wrong or something. But I honestly see that in the future, this will be more than likely something that's very possible, especially with the PlayStation 5, before even the Pro comes out. And I think if the PlayStation 5 Pro comes out, it's definitely going to be able to play 8K games. Like, I think the main reason why we haven't seen 8K gaming on current gen consoles and like graphics cards and stuff is just mostly because people don't have the monitors for it. And I don't mean like PlayStation 4 or anything. I mean like with the 2080 Ti and stuff. The reason you don't see it as often is mostly because the technology isn't really there caught up yet with gaming monitors and stuff. But even if people had 8K monitors as a whole, I don't think it'd still be something that's done, mostly because not most people want that graphical fidelity where they get like the best looking graphics at the best resolution, and most people are going for 1440p. But saying that 8K is impossible is the same thing as saying like 1440p is impossible, because graphics, let's say if the developer decides to make graphics that much more demanding, then yeah, you couldn't play on current graphics card at 1440p. You would have to lower the resolution just to be able to play the game. And but the thing is, developers aren't really pushing it that far. And if they really chose, they can choose instead to not push it that far so that games can play at 8K, but the market's not there. So I think it's kind of like not really that great of an argument to say, because that 8K is impossible, because I think 8K it has been possible for a long time. I just don't think there's a market for it. And if there was, I think you would see games that look not as not much better than what you would see on, say, the Switch. But seeing how developers can make things look really good without it being necessarily graphically demanding, you would still be impressed, and then they would probably be running an 8K if everyone out there bought an 8K monitor. But that's not the case. Most people have been stuck at 1440p, 1080p range, and only recently people started buying 4K monitors more and more. So I really don't see any developer wanting to push it, since they really don't have to. And also, I don't think NVIDIA wants to take that challenge on, nor AMD or any other developer out there like making technology and stuff. Like, they don't want to push it necessarily, because they would rather you stay at lower end models so that they can kind of push those out. But honestly, like, I've been hearing for years that 4K hasn't been possible, and 4K would be possible if you're playing an older game. You can definitely push it to 4K, and you would have like over 100 FPS all over the place. But the reason why you don't see that is simply just because people would prefer playing in lower resolutions and having better like looking graphics at that lower resolution. So that's probably why you don't see that as often. But it doesn't mean it's impossible. And I don't think even 8K is impossible. I think as time goes on, you will see things at 8K more frequently. And I'm not, because even if you think about it, even the settings are kind of, not really truthful to anything. Because like if a developer makes it, like they can make high mean anything. So you can have like high or ultra graphics at 8K, and it doesn't necessarily mean that the game is more graphically demanding than any other game out there. Like, it could be less demanding overall, and that way you can make a game that looks like, say, Mario Odyssey, but it plays at 8K and then it's 8K Ultra, and all of a sudden it's 8K Ultra at 60 frames per second. Does that mean that graphics card is capable of 8K? I mean, it does, but I mean, it's not that impressive. For instance, it's not like it's playing any new modern game that's out there right now, or even something like Fortnite, like at 8K. That's not what's going on. But still, all I'm trying to say is it's still possible. Just people aren't doing it because there's no market there. It doesn't mean that it's impossible, and I don't think it's going to be impossible at all for the PlayStation 5. I really don't know why people keep saying that it's impossible. Like, I honestly don't get it, because it just means that what you're expecting is something different than what it's saying. Because to be honest, like, even right now, you can say the 2080 Ti isn't a 1440p card, because the second you turn on ray tracing, it becomes a 1080p card, maybe even a 720p card. So like, it depends what you mean by what you want and what you want to add to those graphics in order to make your scale. Because honestly, a graphics card can probably play above 8K if you're talking about PlayStation 2 type games. Like, it really, the whole logic on this kind of doesn't make much sense to me, because it varies. Like, so as a marketing spin, like, it could mean anything. If you say tomorrow that the PlayStation 4 is capable of 8K, I mean, depends what you mean by that. Like, you can be playing super low res, super not demanding games on it, and it would be true. But so all I'm trying to say is, like, even when they go out there and say the PlayStation 5 or Xbox, the new Xbox is going to be capable of 8K, I don't necessarily think it doesn't mean gaming, but I mean, I'm going to go ahead and probably assume it doesn't. But I mean, if they wanted to, it could be gaming. I don't see why not. Anyways, that's it for this. Signing out. So, guys, bye bye.